"This patient is not registered with us," the secretary on the phone said in a cold voice. "Santa Rosa Hospital, Cardiology Department." But, I have my husband's report. Dr. Mendoza signed it. Mitral valve insufficiency. Unfortunately, we don't have a cardiologist named Dr. Mendoza working here. You may have the wrong hospital. No, it's clearly written in the report. Santa Rosa Hospital, Cardiology. I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. Have a good day. She hung up. My hand was shaking. I put the phone down on the table. I stared at it, because something was wrong. Very wrong. I had Roberto's report in my hand from last week's checkup. Dr. Mendoza, Santa Rosa Hospital, but the hospital said, "We don't have that doctor." How could that be? Maybe I had dialed the wrong number. Maybe there was another Santa Rosa. But a suspicion had arisen inside me. Small, but unsettling. I am Carmen Leticia Torres, 51 years old. I am a private care nurse. I have been caring for patients for 25 years. I see hospital reports every day. I recognize doctors' signatures, and this morning, while looking at Roberto's report, something caught my attention. A small thing, but important. I didn't know exactly what it was. I just felt it. Something odd. That's why I called the hospital. Just to check, I thought. But now, I have an answer, and the answer has confused me. Roberto's doctor doesn't work at that hospital. Then who wrote this report? I looked at the other reports. There's a pile on the table, 3 years worth. Different dates, different doctors, different hospitals. Do I have to check them all? But why? Roberto is sick. He's had heart disease for 3 years. I know. I've seen him. He's tired. Pale. My chest is tight, he says. But then, why doesn't this hospital recognize him? My stomach churned. I got up. I went to the kitchen. I drank some water because I was scared. I didn't know why, but I was scared. Something was wrong. Very wrong. And I needed to find out, no matter what. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed. Roberto was sleeping next to me, peacefully, taking deep breaths. I looked at him, in the dark. His face was peaceful. He didn't look like a sick man, but he said he was sick for 3 years. The hospital. "We don't know this patient," they had said. There must have been a mistake. Yes, a mistake. But that little doubt kept growing in my mind. That morning started like any other. I had made breakfast. Roberto was sitting at the table. He was reading a new hospital report. "Carmen, I'm going to the doctor today. For a checkup." "Okay, what time?" "At 10, Santa Rosa Hospital." While washing the dishes, I saw the report on the table. Roberto had gone to the bathroom. I picked it up. I looked at it. Patient, Roberto Torres. Doctor, Dr. Mendoza. Cardiology. I examined the report. Habit. 25 years of nursing had taught me to do this, but something caught my attention. The doctor's signature. It was very neat, very perfect, as if it had been typed on a computer. Strange. Because doctors' signatures are usually scribbled. They sign quickly. They're illegible. But this one was very clear. Every letter was visible. Maybe this doctor is meticulous, I thought. But I felt uneasy. Roberto came out of the bathroom. I quickly put the report back in its place. But that uneasiness was gone. In the afternoon, I was in my office. I was working with a client. But my mind was on that signature. During the break, I took out Roberto's old reports from the filing cabinet. 3 years worth. I spread them all out on the table. I looked at them. Different doctors on each report. Dr. Mendoza, Dr. Silva, Dr. Ramirez. But all their signatures were the same style. Very neat. Very clear. Strange. Very strange. Because every doctor should have a different signature style. But these all looked similar. I also looked at the hospital stamp. The quality was poor. A bit blurry. Real hospital stamps are clearer. I knew that. Because I saw hospital documents every day. My suspicion grew a little more. But I thought, no, Roberto wouldn't lie. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Maybe I'm too detail-oriented. But still, I felt uneasy. That evening during dinner, I asked Roberto, what did the doctor say today? Good. Everything's stable. The medication is working. What was the doctor's name? Dr. Mendoza. I always go to him. At Santa Rosa Hospital, right? Yes, the cardiology department. It seemed normal. But that little doubt lingered in my mind. That night, as I lay in bed, I made up my mind. Tomorrow, I would call Santa Rosa Hospital, just to check. Does Dr. Mendoza really work there? Maybe I was being paranoid. But as a nurse, I'd learned to follow up on suspicions. The next morning, Roberto went to work. I picked up the phone. I called Santa Rosa Hospital, cardiology department. Hello, I'd like to speak to Dr. Mendoza. Dr. Mendoza? We don't have a Dr. Mendoza in our cardiology department. My heart raced. But my husband has a report. Dr. Mendoza signed it. I'm afraid you may have the wrong hospital. We don't have a doctor by that name. Are you SURE? Yes, we only have 3 doctors on our cardiology team. Dr. Chen, Dr. Lopez, and Dr. Patel. There is no one named Dr. Mendoza. I hung up the phone. My hands were shaking. Because something was very wrong. I thought maybe there was another Santa Rosa. I searched online. There was only one Santa Rosa hospital in the city. Then, who is Dr. Mendoza? I looked at other reports. Dr. Silva. He worked at Mercy Hospital. I called Mercy Hospital. I want to speak to Dr. Silva, cardiology. Dr. Silva? We don't have a cardiology department. We're a small hospital. I hung up. Third report. Dr. Ramirez, City Medical Center. I called. This patient is not registered with us. 3 hospitals. 3 no answers. At that moment, everything changed. Because now I knew for sure. Something was very, very wrong. Could Roberto's reports be fake? But why? Why would Roberto show fake reports? I didn't know the answer, but I had to find out. Morning came. Roberto went to work. So did I. But my mind was still on that phone call. In the afternoon, I came home. I opened the filing cabinet. I took out all of Roberto's reports. A pile of papers. I looked at the first report. From 3 years ago. March 2022. Patient, Roberto Torres. Diagnosis, mitral valve insufficiency. Doctor, Dr. Mendoza. As I held that report in my hand, a memory came back to me, very vividly. That day, the day it all began, 3 years ago. March. It was evening. Roberto came home. His face was pale. He sat down. He clasped his hands together. Carmen, I need to talk to you. I was scared. His voice was so serious. What's wrong, Roberto? Are you okay? I went to the doctor today. Routine checkup. But the doctor noticed something. My heart started racing. What? He heard an abnormal sound in my heart. They did more detailed tests. An echocardiogram. I sat down next to him. And? Mitral valve insufficiency. My heart valve isn't working properly. Blood is flowing back. My breath caught. because as a nurse, I knew mitral valve insufficiency was a serious condition. How serious? Moderate, for now, but the doctor said, if left untreated, it will worsen. It could lead to heart failure. I held his hand. What's the treatment? We'll try medication first. If that doesn't work, surgery. Surgery? What kind of surgery? Valve repair or replacement? Open heart surgery. My eyes filled with tears. Open heart surgery. Very risky. Roberto, I'm scared. He hugged me. I'm scared too, Carmen, but we'll get through this together. You're with me. Yes, I'll always be with you. Then he showed me the report. Patient name, diagnosis, doctor's signature. Everything was official. Serious. How much are the drugs? $2,000 a month. Special drugs. Imported. Not covered by insurance. $2,000? Yes, expensive, but necessary for my life. I thought about it. Our monthly income was $5,000. $2,000 was a lot. How will we pay for it? Roberto took a deep breath. We have savings. $30,000. We'll use that first. Then we can mortgage the house. The house. Our house. The one we've paid for over 20 years. Debt-free. The house? Carmen, we have no other choice. I'm not working. You're our only source of income. And these drugs are essential. I looked at him. There was fear in his eyes, but also hope. You are everything to me, Carmen. If it weren't for you, I would have given up long ago. Those words melted my heart. Roberto was my husband for 25 years, the father of our 2 children. I couldn't bear to lose him. Okay, Roberto. We'll put the house up for a mortgage. You'll get treatment. He kissed me. You're my angel. What did I feel at that moment? Fear, but also determination, because I thought, I have to save Roberto. The house was just a place, but Roberto was my life. Now I'm sitting in the office. I'm holding that first report. Dr. Mendoza, but the hospital said, we don't have that doctor. So, was that report fake? Had Roberto been lying to me? Since that first day? My hands trembled. The report fell to the floor. Because if it was a lie, everything was a lie. The house. Our house. We had taken out a mortgage. For 3 years we had been paying, every month, $1,500 for Roberto's treatment. But if there was no treatment, where did that money go? My stomach churned. I ran to the bathroom. I felt like I was going to throw up, but I couldn't. I just sat there, on the cold tiles, because I understood, slowly, a terrible possibility. Was Roberto not sick? Had he never been sick? That first day, at home, he said, "There's an abnormal sound in my heart." He showed me the report. I believed him, because he was my husband. Why would he lie? But now, that report seemed fake. And we had mortgaged the house for Roberto's treatment. But if there was no treatment, why did we take out a mortgage? What did Roberto use that money for? Where did that money go? I came out of the bathroom. I washed my face. I looked in the mirror. The woman I saw looked old, tired, broken. I went back to the filing cabinet. I looked at the other reports. November 2023, a year ago. Emergency checkup. Irregular heartbeat. When I saw that report, another memory came back. More painful. Deeper. It was a year ago. November. A cold evening. Roberto came home. His face was paler than usual. He sat down. He put his head in his hands. "Carmen, I had a terrible day." I rushed over to him. "What happened? Did you go to the doctor?" "Yes, emergency checkup. Irregular heartbeat, palpitations, chest pain." "Oh my God. What did the doctor say?" "He said the medication isn't enough. We need to increase the dosage. We need stronger medication." "How much?" Roberto looked at me. His eyes were filled with tears. $3,500 a month. $3,500. He had said $2,000 before. Now it's $3,500. "Roberto, where are we going to get $3,500? We're already paying the mortgage. We have no savings left." "I know, Carmen. I know. But there's no other option. If I don't take these medications, my risk of a heart attack is very high." I paused. I thought, what did we have left? The house was mortgaged. Our savings were gone. The only thing left. Carlos's college fund. Roberto shook his head. "Yes, I know. But Carmen, Carlos graduated. He's working now. That fund is idle for now. Carlos, our son, 25 years old, an engineer. He had a good job, but that fund was for his future. Maybe he would buy a house. Maybe he would get married. That money was for him." "Roberto, that money is Carlos's." "I know, but I'm Carlos's father. If I die, Carlos will have nothing. But if I live, I can continue to support Carlos." It made sense, but I still hesitated. "We need to ask Carlos." "No, Carmen. Let's not upset Carlos. He needs to focus on his work. We'll handle it quietly. Then we'll put it back." I looked at him. There was pleading in his eyes, but also pain. "Carmen, please. I want to live. I want to see Carlos. I want to see my grandchildren. Please." Those words broke me, because Roberto was right. If he died, nothing would matter. "Okay, Roberto. But this has to be the last time. We can't find any more money." "I know. The last time. I promise." The next day, I went to the bank. I opened Carlos's college fund. There was $18,000. We had saved it for 18 years. $100 every month. Carlos had won a scholarship to college. The fund had never been used. Now, we would use it for Roberto's treatment. I took the money, $18,000. I gave it to Roberto. "Thank you, Carmen. You're a lifesaver." But inside, I felt uneasy, because I hadn't told Carlos. He didn't know. What did I feel at that moment? Guilt, but also necessity, because I thought, Roberto will die. There's no other option. Now I'm sitting in the office. I'm holding that report. Emergency check. Irregular heartbeat. But if the report was fake, then the irregular heartbeat was fake too. Then where did Carlos's $18,000 go? Tears came to my eyes. Because Carlos still didn't know that his fund had been emptied. I sat in the office for hours. I looked at all the reports. Each one described a crisis. Emergency medication change. New test needed. Dosage increase. And each one meant more money. I looked at the last report. From 3 months ago, December 2024. Preparing for surgery. Preliminary test. $10,000. Seeing that report brought back the final moment. The most painful one. It was 3 months ago, December, before Christmas. Roberto came home. He had a strange look on his face, both sad and hopeful. "Carmen, big news." "What?" "The doctor said it's time for surgery. The medication isn't enough anymore. I need surgery." Surgery. We'd been waiting for it for 3 years, but at the same time, we were afraid of it. "When?" "Next summer, June. But first we need preliminary tests, blood tests, angiogram, echocardiogram." "How much?" Roberto paused. $10,000. $10,000. He had never asked for that much before. "Roberto, where are we going to get $10,000? We're broke. The house is mortgaged. Carlos's fund is empty. We have nothing left." Roberto took my hand. "There's one thing left, Carmen. Your retirement fund." My retirement fund. What I'd saved for 25 years. From my nursing career, I'd set aside $200 from every paycheck. Now, there was $45,000. "No, Roberto. That fund is my future. It's the money I'll live on when I retire." "I know, Carmen. But I want to live now. If I don't have the surgery, I won't see your retirement. But if I have the surgery, we'll retire together. We'll travel together. We'll see our grandchildren." I looked at him. There was hope in his eyes. "Carmen, please, one last time. If I have this surgery, I'll get better. The doctor said, if the surgery is successful, you'll return to normal life." Normal life, Carmen. No more medication, no more checkups. Just you and me. Normal life. What we'd been dreaming of for 3 years. "Only $10,000? "Yes. The surgery is $50,000, but my insurance covers $40,000. Only $10,000 is my share." It made sense. If the surgery was successful, Roberto would get better. There would be no more emergency medication requests. We would live normally. And withdrawing $10,000 from my retirement fund wasn't a big deal. There was $45,000. There would be $35,000 left. "Okay, Roberto. But this is really the last time. We won't be able to find any more money." "I know, Carmen. This is the last time. I promise. After the surgery, everything will change." The next day, I withdrew $10,000 from my retirement account. I paid the early withdrawal penalty, $2,000, a total loss of $12,000. I gave the money to Roberto. "Here, for the preliminary tests." "Thanks, Carmen. You're my everything." Now I'm sitting in the office. I'm holding that final report. Surgery preparation, pre-op tests, $10,000. But if Roberto wasn't sick, there was no surgery. So where did my $10,000? Geo, my retirement fund, 25 years, $200 from every paycheck. I never missed a payment because I thought, one day, I'll retire. And now, I'd given it for Roberto's surgery. But if there was no surgery, it meant the money had been stolen. I put my head on the table. I cried, silently, because I couldn't take it anymore. 3 years, $72,000. The house is mortgaged. Carlos's fund is empty. My retirement fund is dwindling, all for Roberto's treatment. But if there was no treatment, it all meant lies. Had Roberto been deceiving me for 3 years? Every time he said, "I'm going to the doctor?" Every time he said, "I need to get medicine?" I didn't know the answers, but I needed to find out. Because I am Carmen Leticia Torres, 51 years old, a nurse. I know how to care for patients, but I also know how to spot a liar. And now, I was going to expose Roberto's lie. I called Elena, my former colleague, a cardiologist. "Elena, we need to talk urgently about Roberto." "What happened, Carmen?" I think Roberto's reports are fake. I called 3 hospitals. None of them know the doctors." "Are you serious?" Yes, and I'm really scared. Come to my office tomorrow. We'll look at the reports together. Okay. Thank you, Elena. The next morning, I went to Dr. Elena's office. Elena was waiting at the door. We hugged. Carmen, how are you? I'm not okay, Elena. It's very confusing. Come in, sit down, tell me. The office was tidy, clean, diplomas on the walls, a computer on the desk. I put Roberto's reports on the desk, a pile of them. Here, 3 years' worth, a new report every month. Elena took them. She looked at them. One, then another. Her face changed. Carmen, these reports are fake. My heart stopped. Are you sure? Yes. Look, the doctor's signature. It's very neat. Real doctors don't sign like that. This was done on a computer. Anything else? The hospital stamp. The quality is poor. Real stamps are clearer. Anything else? The diagnosis. It says mitral valve insufficiency, but the tests don't match. You need an echocardiogram for the mitral valve, but there isn't one here. So, Roberto isn't sick? Elena looked at me. I don't know, Carmen, but these reports are definitely fake. Did Roberto go to a real doctor? I don't know. He says he did, but I never saw him. Then let's get him tested. At my hospital, free of charge, an echocardiogram. If he really has mitral valve insufficiency, we'll see. Okay, but will Roberto agree? It's not mandatory. Just say, my friend is a doctor. He does free checkups. That evening I returned home. Roberto was watching TV. Roberto, I have some news. What? My friend Elena is a cardiologist. She's doing free checkups. Let's go see her tomorrow. Roberto stopped. His face tensed. Why? Just a checkup. Maybe she'll adjust his medication. No, Carmen. I'm going to my own doctor. I don't need another doctor. But Roberto, Elena is a specialist, and it's free. I said no. No discussion. He got up. He went to his room. He closed the door. That reaction made me even more suspicious. Why did he refuse? If he was really sick, why didn't he want to see another doctor? 2 days later, Roberto came home. His face was tense. Carmen, I have an emergency. My heart sank because emergency meant I need money. What happened? The doctor wants a new test, a cardiac MRI. It's very important. It's a prerequisite for surgery. How much? $5,000. $5,000. Again. Roberto, I don't have any money. Everything's gone. I know, Carmen. But maybe we could use a credit card. A credit card. We already owed $15,000. Adding another $5,000 would be disastrous. Roberto, the credit card limit is maxed out. We can't charge anymore. Then maybe we can borrow from someone. From Elena, or from her sister. My sister, Maria, 53 years old, retired teacher. She didn't have much money. Roberto, I can't borrow from Maria. She's retired. But Carmen, my life is in danger. $5,000 is worth my life. Roberto, go to Elena first, a free checkup. If you really need a test, Elena will say so. No, Carmen, I'm not going to Elena. I trust my own doctor. But Roberto, stop arguing, Carmen. Find the money, or I'll die, and you'll live with your conscience. He left, got in the car, left. I sat down. My hands were shaking because Roberto was accusing me. If you don't find the money, I'll die, he said. But I didn't believe him anymore. Because Elena had said, the reports are fake. That night, while I was sleeping, I took Roberto's phone. I knew his password, our birthdays. I opened the messages. Nothing. Clean. But I looked in the deleted messages folder. There was a name there. Gabby. I opened it. The messages were shocking. Gabby, baby, I need money for this month's rent. $2,500. Roberto, okay, honey. I'll send it tomorrow. Gabby, thank you. You're the best. I love you. Gabby. Who is this Gabby? I read more messages. Gabby, what about our vacation plans? Should we go to Cancun? Roberto, yes, in June. I'll tell Carmen it's for surgery. Carmen. That's my name. Was Roberto messing with me? I hung up the phone. My hands were shaking. Because I understood. Roberto had another woman. Gabby. And he was sending her money. My money. $2,500 for this month's rent. So Roberto had rented an apartment for Gabby. With my money. My stomach churned. I ran to the bathroom. I felt like I was going to throw up, because now everything was clear. Roberto wasn't sick. It was a lie. And that money was going to Gabby, his young mistress, for 3 years. I worked for Roberto's treatment. I mortgaged my house. I emptied my son's fund. I gave him my retirement money. A week later, Roberto came home. He had a big smile on his face. Carmen, I have great news. I stopped. What? The doctor examined me today. He said, Roberto, you're getting better. The medication is working very well. You may not need surgery. He was getting better. The man who had been saying, I'm dying for 3 years, was now saying, I'm getting better. Really? Yes, Carmen. The doctor was shocked. He said, this is a miracle. I couldn't believe it either. A miracle. Of course, because he had never been sick. So, no surgery is needed? Maybe not. The doctor said, let's use the medication for 3 more months. Then we'll test again. 3 more months. That meant he would need medication money for 3 more months. Roberto, that's great news. Yes, Carmen. And I want to celebrate this. A party. A recovery celebration. Family. Friends. Everyone. A party. Roberto wanted a party. When? Next month, April, in a restaurant hall. 60 people. Roberto, a party is very expensive. Where will we get the money? Don't worry, Carmen. I'll borrow from my old work colleagues. This is a special day, my return to life. It should be celebrated. Return to life. Roberto had never left. And Carmen, you'll give a speech. You'll go on stage. In front of everyone, you'll say, Roberto fought hard, but he recovered. Me? Get on stage and tell a lie? Roberto, I don't want to give a speech. Why? You're my wife. You supported me. Everyone wants to see you. I know, but I'm shy. Carmen, please. This is very important to me. I'll invite you on stage. I'll say, Carmen, my angel. Everyone will applaud. I looked at him. There was excitement in his eyes. But I only saw lies. Okay, Roberto. I'll give a speech. You're amazing. But something else crossed my mind. Yes, Roberto. I'll give a speech. But not the way you want. A week later, I was shopping. At the market. Saturday afternoon. I was in the produce section, picking tomatoes. Suddenly, I heard a voice. Familiar. Roberto's voice. I turned. I looked. Roberto was there, but he wasn't alone. There was a young woman, maybe 25 years old, long black hair, pretty, stylish clothes, and Roberto was smiling at her, holding her hand. I froze. I couldn't breathe, because that woman had to be Gabby, the mistress. I watched them, secretly. They were talking. Gabby, where do you want to go tonight? I don't know, baby. Maybe that new Italian restaurant? It's expensive though, $200, but you're a rich man. Your wife takes good care of you. She laughed. Roberto laughed too. Yes, Carmen is very generous. Generous. I was generous because I gave everything I had for Roberto's treatment. But in reality, all that money was going to this woman. Gabby hugged Roberto. She kissed him. On the lips. In the middle of the supermarket. In front of everyone. My eyes welled up, but I didn't cry. I just watched. I took out my phone. I took a photo from a distance. But it was clear. Roberto and Gabby. Hugging. Then I quietly left. The supermarket. My car. I sat down. And I cried. I cried a lot because 28 years of marriage was a lie. Roberto didn't love me. He only loved my money. And now he was happy with another woman. With my money. That evening, I came home. Roberto wasn't there. He had texted, meeting friends. So he was with Gabby, eating with my money. The doorbell rang. I opened it. It was Carlos. My son. Mom, we need to talk. Carlos, welcome home. What's wrong? I can't marry Maria. What? Why? Because I have no money. My college fund is empty. And you never told me. He sat down. His face was bright red. He was angry. Carlos, I'm sorry. Your father is sick. The medicine. Medicine. Always medicine. But Mom, I looked into it. Your father's doctor doesn't work at Santa Rosa Hospital. I called. They said, we don't have that doctor. I froze. Carlos had researched it. So your father isn't sick, Mom. He's lying. And you gave my money to him. To a liar. Carlos, No, Mom. You betrayed me. I saved that money. For the future. But you gave it to Dad. And now I can't marry Maria. Because I don't have money to buy a house. Carlos, I'll make it up to you. I promise. How, Mom? How will you make it up to me? You're already in debt. The house is mortgaged. Your retirement fund is depleted. Where will you get the money? I couldn't answer. Mom, I'm so disappointed in you. You always taught me honesty. But you lied to me. And you stole my money. Carlos, please. No, Mom. I'm leaving. And I won't talk to you for a while. He got up. He left. The door slammed shut. I sat there. Alone. In silence. Carlos hated me because I had given his money to Roberto. A liar. And now Carlos's dreams were shattered because of my mistake. That night, I lay in bed, but I couldn't sleep because everything was ruined. Roberto, a liar. Gabby, a mistress. Carlos, angry. And me, in the middle. Lost my money. Lost my son. Lost everything. But worst of all, Roberto was still lying. I'm getting better, he said. I'm going to throw a party, he said. And he wanted me to go on stage, to introduce me as Carmen, my angel. But I wasn't an angel. I was a fool. A fool who believed the lie for 3 years, at that moment. Something changed inside me. It wasn't anger. It wasn't sadness. It was something else. A decision. I got up. I turned on the computer. I sent Elena a message. Elena, I need your help. I need to document Roberto's fake reports, and I need to find Gabby. I need to find out everything. Elena replied immediately. Okay, Carmen. Let's meet tomorrow. I'll help you. I closed it. I took a deep breath. Because now, I wouldn't stay silent. Now, I wouldn't be a victim. Roberto wanted a party. A recovery celebration. Fine. There would be a party, but not the one Roberto was expecting, because I would take the stage, and I would tell the truth in front of everyone. 2 weeks later, Saturday afternoon, Elena suggested a private investigator. Ivan. He's a good guy. He can follow Roberto. I met with Ivan. I gave him Roberto's photo. I gave him Gabby's photo. Follow them. Where are they going? What are they doing? Document everything. Ivan agreed. The report will be ready in a week. A week passed. Ivan called. Carmen, come to the office. There are things you need to see. I went. Ivan's office was small, but it was tidy. There were photos on the desk. Lots of photos. First photo, Roberto and Gabby in a cafe, smiling, holding hands. Second photo, Roberto and Gabby in front of an apartment building. Roberto is unlocking the door with a key. This is Gabby's apartment, Ivan said. Roberto pays the rent. $2,500 a month. Third photo, Roberto at the gym, running on the treadmill. I froze. What? Roberto runs? Yes, every morning for an hour. But he has a heart condition. He can't run. Ivan shook his head. Carmen, Roberto isn't sick. He's perfectly healthy. Look, there are more photos. Fourth photo, Roberto and Gabby at the beach. Cancun, they're wearing swimsuits. Roberto has his arm around Gabby. They're laughing. This photo was taken last month. Roberto told you he was getting tests done at the hospital. But in reality, he was on vacation with Gabby. Fifth photo, Roberto at a fancy restaurant with Gabby. They are drinking champagne, expensive food on the table. This restaurant costs $150 per meal. Roberto spent $400 that night. Sixth photo, Roberto at a casino, at a poker table. Gambling? Does Roberto gamble too? Yes, twice a week. He usually loses. I looked at all the photos, one by one. Roberto looked happy in each one. He looked healthy. He didn't look sick. And most importantly, he was living a luxurious life with my money. Ivan, can you give me these? Digital copies? Sure. Here's the USB. I took it, put it in my bag. One more thing, Carmen. I tracked Roberto's bank accounts. Over the last 3 years, he spent a total of $85,000. $45,000 to Gabby, $25,000 on gambling, $15,000 for himself, $85,000, including my $72,000. Roberto had robbed me. Completely. Thanks, Ivan. That was very helpful. You're welcome, Carmen. And I'm sorry. No one deserves this. I left, got in my car, sat down. I thought about the photos. Roberto on the treadmill. At the beach. At the casino. He wasn't sick. He had never been sick. For 3 years, he had lied to me. Every day. Every hour. My heart hurts, he said. L-I-E. I'm going to the doctor, he said. L-I-E. I need to take medicine, he said. L-I-E. Everything was a lie. And I believed him. Because he was my husband. Because I trusted him. But Roberto threw that trust away. What was I going to do now? The answer was clear. Roberto was going to throw a party, a recovery celebration, and I was going to take the stage. But this time, I was going to tell the truth. I would show all the photos. I would show the fake reports. I would show the hospital phone records. Here's Roberto, liar, cheater, pretending to be sick. And here's Gabby, his mistress, the woman he fed with my money, in front of everyone, in front of the family, in front of friends. Roberto would be ruined, his reputation would be destroyed, but he deserved it, because he had ruined me for 3 years. That night I came home. Roberto was there, watching TV. Carmen, where was I? Out. Shopping. Okay, by the way, the party plan is ready. Next Saturday. 60 guests. They all accepted. Good. And you, did you prepare your speech? I looked at him, into his eyes. Yes, Roberto, I did. It will be a very special speech. Great, I'm so excited. This will be the most special day of my life. I smiled. Yes, Roberto. It will be very special. But inside, something else crossed my mind. You're going to be shocked, Roberto, because the truth is very painful. I went to my room. I turned on the computer. I started preparing the presentation. Slide 1, title: Roberto's Recovery Story, Truth and Lies. Slide 2, Roberto's Claim. 3 years ago, Roberto told me he had been diagnosed with mitral valve insufficiency. I'm dying, he said. Help me, he said. Slide 3, fake reports, photos of all the reports. Notes below. Dr. Mendoza, this doctor does not work at Santa Rosa Hospital. Seal, Photoshop. Tests, inconsistent. Slide 4, hospital confirmations, transcripts of voice recordings. Santa Rosa Hospital, Roberto Torres is not registered with us. Mercy Hospital, Dr. Silva is not with us. Slide 5, drug analysis. Pharmacist Laura's report. Roberto's special imported medication, just a multivitamin. Slide 6, Roberto's real life. Ivan's photos, side by side, on the treadmill, at the beach, at the casino, with Gabby. Caption: a sick man or a lying husband. Slide 7, Gabby, mistress. Photos of Gabby, apartment rent payments. My medicine money went to Gabby's rent, $2,500 a month for 3 years. Slide 8, financial statement, table, 3 years of expenses. Total, $82,000, all for Roberto's lies. Slide 9, conclusion. Roberto wasn't sick. He never was. It was all a lie. And I, like a foolish wife, believed it. Slide 10, question. Now, your decision. Did Roberto experience a miraculous recovery? Or was he never sick? I recorded the presentation. Each slide was a piece of evidence. Each piece of evidence was a lie. And on Saturday, it would all be revealed, in front of everyone. I finished the presentation, I recorded it, I copied it to a USB drive. Then I called Elena. Elena, are you ready? Yes, Carmen. I'll be there on Saturday, with my laptop. I'll run the presentation. Thank you, Elena. You're a true friend. Carmen, you deserve this. Roberto will have to answer for it. I hung up. I took a deep breath. Because now, everything was ready. Roberto wanted to have a recovery celebration. Fine. There would be a celebration. But a celebration of the truth. The end of the lie. Because I was Carmen Leticia Torres, 51 years old. A nurse. I knew how to care for patients. But now, I could also diagnose liars. And Roberto's diagnosis was clear. Liar. Deceiver. Fraud. And on Saturday, everyone would learn this diagnosis. Was I ready? Yes. I was very ready. Because now I was no longer a victim. Now I was a warrior. And the battle would begin on Saturday. On Roberto's special day. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed. Roberto was sleeping next to me. Peacefully. Taking deep breaths. I looked at him, in the dark. His face was peaceful. For 3 years I had believed that face. I'm sick, he had said. I believed him. But now, I knew. Everything was a lie. Ivan's photos were spinning in my head. Roberto on the treadmill, at the casino, on vacation with Gabby. He wasn't sick. He never had been. And now he was going to have a party, a recovery celebration. He wanted me to go on stage, to introduce me as Carmen, my angel. But I wasn't an angel. I was a stupid woman, deceived for 3 years. Or was I too harsh? Maybe I should have given Roberto a chance. Morning came. Roberto went to work. I sat in the office. I took the USB. I looked at Ivan's photos, one by one. Roberto and Gabby at the cafe, at the gym, at the beach. Every photo was a betrayal, but a voice spoke inside me. Carmen, maybe Roberto really loves you. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe you should give him a chance. I stopped. I thought. 28 years of marriage, 2 children. So many memories. Maybe Roberto was sorry now. Maybe the party was really a new beginning. Maybe I could forgive him. It was 15 years ago. Carlos was 10 years old. He had a school project. Volcano model. Carlos had made it, but it wasn't pretty. He cried, "Mom, I'm a failure." Roberto came over. "Carlos, you're not a failure. You just need a little help." That night, Roberto and Carlos worked together until 3 o'clock. They made a new volcano model. Perfect. The next day, Carlos came in first. He was so happy. "Dad, you're the best." Roberto hugged him. "You're my son. I'll always be with you." Now I remember that moment. Was Roberto a good father? Yes. He loved Carlos. Maybe I was being unfair to him. Maybe he had made a mistake. But was he still a good person? I stopped. I thought, maybe you shouldn't have confronted him at the party. Maybe we should talk privately. I should say, "Roberto, I know everything. But I can forgive you." But at that moment, my phone vibrated. A message came from Roberto. "Carmen, I'll be home late tonight. Meeting with work colleagues." Work colleagues. So he was meeting Gabby. My anger exploded. Because Roberto was still lying. The party was a week away. But he was still with Gabby. He was still cheating on me. Was he a good father? Yes. But he was also a lying husband. He might have been good for Carlos. But to me, he had only caused pain. And now, he was still doing it. He wasn't sorry at all. At that moment, my decision was made. Number 1, I would not forgive Roberto. The party would happen, and the truth would be told, and I was ready. Because I was Carmen Leticia Torres, 51 years old, a nurse, one who knew the truth, one who diagnosed lies, and tonight, Roberto would be diagnosed. In front of everyone, the battle was starting tonight, and I would win. That night, we arrived at the restaurant. It was a luxurious place called La Terraza, a large hall, crystal chandeliers, white tables. There were 60 people, family, friends, Roberto's former co-workers. They had all come for the recovery celebration. Roberto stood at the door. He smiled. "Carmen, look, they're all here. For me, yes, Roberto. They're all here. But soon, they won't be here for you. They'll be against you." We went inside. People greeted Roberto. Roberto hugged everyone. I stood on the sidelines, quietly, because the show hadn't started yet. I saw Elena in the back corner with her laptop. She winked at me, as if to say, "I'm ready." I saw Carlos too, far away, sitting alone. He didn't seem to be talking to me, but he was here to see his father's lie. The meal began. People ate, they drank, they talked. Roberto went from table to table. "Thank you, I'm very happy," he said. Then, He went on stage. He took the microphone. Good evening, everyone. Today is a very special day. 3 years ago, I was facing death. My heart disease almost took me. But a miracle happened. The medicine worked. The doctors were shocked. How is this possible? They said. But I know it's the power of love, especially the love of my wife, Carmen. People applauded. Carmen was by my side every day. She found the money for every medicine. She took me to every checkup. She is my angel. Without her, I wouldn't be here. More applause. And now, I want to invite Carmen to the stage, because this story is her story. Carmen, please come. Everyone looked at me. They applauded. I got up. I walked to the stage. Slowly. Roberto hugged me. He whispered, "Thank you, Carmen. You're amazing." I took the microphone. I looked at the audience. I took a deep breath. "Thank you, Roberto. You're amazing too." Roberto smiled. He stepped to the side of the stage. "Good evening, everyone. I'm Carmen, Roberto's wife." For 28 years, people listened quietly. As Roberto said, the last 3 years have been very difficult, very instructive. I paused. I looked at Elena. She opened her laptop. She started the projector. But I want to tell you the real story, the true version of Roberto's recovery story. Roberto looked at me. Doubt appeared on his face. The room fell silent. People looked at the screen. 3 years ago, Roberto told me he had been diagnosed with mitral valve insufficiency. It was very serious. "I'm dying," he said. "Help me," he said. Second slide. Roberto's hospital reports. And here are the reports. Dr. Mendoza, Santa Rosa Hospital, cardiologist. Roberto panicked. "Carmen, stop. This is private." "Private, Roberto? But you said I was your angel. Everyone should know what their angel does, right?" Third slide. Details of the reports, notes underneath. But there's a problem. Dr. Mendoza doesn't work at Santa Rosa Hospital. I called. They said, "We don't have that doctor." The room stirred. Whispers began. Roberto approached the stage. "Carmen, you misunderstood. Maybe another hospital." "Another hospital, Roberto?" "What about Dr. Silva, Mercy Hospital?" I called them too. They said, "We don't have a cardiology department." Fourth slide. Transcripts of hospital phone calls. Elena played the recordings. The secretary's voices echoed through the room. "Roberto Torres? No, he's not registered with us." "Dr. Mendoza? No such doctor works here." People were shocked. So Roberto's reports are fake? But how is that possible? Roberto broke out in a sweat. "Carmen, please. This is a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding? Then what is this?" Fifth slide. Drug analysis report. Pharmacist Laura's signature. Roberto's special imported medicine, $2,000 a month. He said it was very expensive, very necessary, but I had it analyzed. Result? Just a multivitamin, no medical value whatsoever. "But wait," I said, "it's not over." Because Roberto didn't just lie. He did other things too. Sixth slide. Ivan's photos. Roberto on the treadmill. Here's Roberto. Last month. At the gym. Running. Can a sick man run? Seventh slide. Roberto at the casino. At the poker table. And here's Roberto. Gambling. My medicine money was going to the casino. Eighth slide. Roberto and Gabby. At the beach. Hugging. "This is Gabby," I said. "Roberto's friend. But actually, his mistress. And here's her apartment. Rent. $2,500. Every month. for 3 years. My medicine money went to Gabby's rent. 9th slide, financial statement, 3 years of expenses. Total, $82,000. I mortgaged my house. I emptied my son's college fund. I gave my retirement money. All for Roberto's treatment. But Roberto was never sick. Final slide. In capital letters, Roberto was not sick. He never was. It was all a lie. The room fell silent. A deep silence. People looked at Roberto with anger, with disgust. Carlos turned. He left. He exited the room. I put down the microphone. I stepped off the stage. People approached me. "Carmen, we're so sorry. You're so brave. We're with you." But I didn't respond. I just walked away. I left the room because my work was done. The truth had been told. The next day, Roberto didn't come home. He called. "Carmen, I went to a hotel. I need to think." "Okay, Roberto." Think. A week later, I got the divorce papers. Roberto had signed them. He didn't resist because there was nothing left to resist. Everyone knew the truth. I kept the house. The mortgage became Roberto's responsibility. The court said, "You cheated on your wife with a fake illness. Pay the fine." Carlos's fund was returned. Roberto paid it out of his own pocket. Forcibly. Part of my retirement money was returned. $6,000. It's not much, but it's something. Gabby left Roberto because there was no money left. She said, "Baby, you're bankrupt. I want rich men." Roberto was left alone, in a small apartment, all by himself. He lost his job too, because everyone knew Roberto Torres is a liar. Me? I don't think about him, because he's my past now. And a voice spoke inside me. "Carmen, you did it. You survived. You won. Yes, I won. Because I am Carmen Leticia Torres, 52 years old, a nurse, the truth teller, the liar destroyer, and I am free, finally."